All right, we are back for Game 2 of this Little East baseball doubleheader between the UMass Dartmouth Corsairs and the UMass Boston Beacons. Mike Drew and the rest of our crew back here with you at Monin Park. It was a very difficult loss for UMass Boston in Game 1, a game that they turned around in the middle innings, took advantage of some sloppy defense from the Corsairs to score 4 runs in the bottom of the 6th inning to take a lead, but they were done in by Mike Nell of UMass Dartmouth with a killer 2-out, 3-run homer in the top half of the 7th, and Robbie Carrillo closed out the game for UMD, and it was a 7-5 victory for the Corsairs. So UMass Boston trying to at least salvage a split in this doubleheader here, and this will once again be another 9-inning game. A lot of 7-inning doubleheaders in baseball nowadays, especially here at the collegiate level, but this will be 2 9-inning games, trying to maximize every game they can on the schedule. So that's where we are, and UMass Dartmouth about set to step in there to start Game 2. Their lineup, a couple of differences from Game 1. J.R.D. Sarcina, again, will lead it off at second. Eric Ramirez, who had a huge Game 1, is the shortstop batting second. Jose Vasquez was great in Game 1. He's at third base batting third. DJ Perron in right. Mitch Baker is the first baseman today. He caught Game 1. Wilcar Moreno is in left. Andrew Bryant, the DH. Frank Salona behind the plate. Matthew Klett in center field. Logan Maitland will start for UMass Dartmouth, but we'll get to him later. It's the right-hander Dylan Ryan who is on the hill for UMass Boston. His second appearance, his second start. 3 innings, no runs, 1 hit. 3 walks and 6 strikeouts his first time around. And here he is to begin Game 2 with a strike on the outside corner to D. Sarcina. Again, if you weren't with us earlier, JR, the son of Gary, played for the Angels, a coach with the Red Sox for many years, third base coach now for the Mets. He flies one into center, catch is made out there by Ben Irvine, and 1 up and 1 down here in the second game. That'll send in Ramirez, who was all over the place in the first game. Homered in his first at-bat, a single and a stolen base his second time up. Walked and scored in the 7th, had a tremendous diving catch to rob the Beacons of a couple of runs out at short. He is an impact player, no question. And Dylan Ryan trying to set him down, and the breaking ball didn't snap enough. So it's 1-0. 1-0 pitch coming. Big swing, and Ramirez comes up empty. It's 1-1. The wind has been a factor today. It was virtually non-existent when we came on the air before Game 1, but then very quickly it started blowing out toward left center. Then as the game went on, it changed direction and started blowing out toward right. That's where it continues to blow now as it carries this ball a little bit out shy of the warning track, but Chris Duco comes away with it for the second out. So a couple of fly ball outs here for Ryan to start his outing. And now Jose Vasquez will stand in. He was perfect at the plate in Game 1, 3 for 3 with a walk, a couple of singles, a triple, drove in 2 runs, made some slick plays at first base as well as he takes a ball low and away. You mentioned, if you were with us for the first game, that these two teams are bunched up right now at the tail end of postseason positioning for the Little East Conference Tournament. And UMass Dartmouth with the win earlier, vaulting ahead of UMass Boston as this one's hit out in the air toward left center. Charging on is Irvine to make the catch. And 3 fly ball outs for Dylan Ryan to start Game 2. So the Corsairs go down in order. We will head to the bottom of the first inning in a moment.
I'm a Division III student athlete, and I know how powerful words can be. The term gay doesn't mean stupid, lame, or less than.
So I pledge to speak up if I hear the term gay used in a derogatory way or any other homophobic terms.
If you can play in Division III.
I'm a Division III student athlete, and my teammates unconditionally accepted me as part of their family. So now I pledge to do the same for others. If you can play in Division III.
Coming back for the bottom of inning number 1 here in game 2 of the doubleheader. UMass Dartmouth comes up empty in the top of the first. The Beacons with a lineup that looks identical to what they had in game 1. Chris Duco in right field about to lead it off. Gianni Zerilli at short. Curtis Tirone the DH. Craig Corliss at first. Thomas Q in left. Nico Kydes catching both ends of the doubleheader. Aidan Blake at third, Jason Sullivan at second, and Ben Irvine in center field will bat ninth, and they go against the UMass Dartmouth starter, Logan Maitland. The right-hander making his 6th appearance, his 2nd start. He's got a 1-1 record with an ERA of 3.86 in 16 and a third innings. 6'6" lanky right-hander, and he fires strike 1. He's got a 3/4 arm slot. Very hard thrower here as opposed to most of the guys we saw in game 1 for them. This guy will throw in the mid-90s. And there's one right there on the fastball that Duco couldn't catch up to. It's 0-2. Throws very hard. Has topped out at 96 miles an hour this year with that fastball. Also has a good split. There it was. Strike 3 called, and Duco goes down on 3 pitches. When he's on, that splitter is his best pitch. When he's in the strike zone, this is a guy who is very difficult to hit. He is staying there and maintaining consistency with his location. That's not always the case. He has walked 9 guys, in his 16 and 2/3 innings of work. 1-1 the count on Zerilli. He has major put-away stuff. He's an imposing figure out there on the hill. Swinging a drive to left, but well foul for Zerilli. Gianni in the first game put the Beacons on the board, a solo homer in the 4th. Key play, he was picked off of second base in the 5th. To end a bases-loaded rally. Very competitive game in game 1, and we expect the same here. 1-2, look out. Down he goes. That fastball was behind everything. That's one that Maitland just lost control of. 6'6", 200 pounds out of Tiverton, Rhode Island. Swinging a grounder. That is fair down the third base line and into left. Heading into second, Zerilli. They're going to make the throw in, but it's late, and it is a 1-out double. So Zerilli just reaching out and poking one down that left field line. Vasquez at third couldn't get to it. And the Beacons with an immediate chance to grab the lead here in Game 2. Curtis Tirone, the DH. Ground rule double in the 4th inning of Game 1 for Tirone. And with that wind blowing out to right now as a left-handed power hitter, you know he's got to be thinking about that as he takes a strike on the outside corner. He can get one in the air out there. He does not have a home run yet this season. But UMass Boston would love to see one here. The 0-1. Big cut. He was trying to. Makes it 0-2. You see the flags blowing out in right center field just past the UMass Boston bullpen. That shows you where that wind is blowing right now. 0-2. And a grounder that stays fair up along first. Making the play himself for the 3 unassisted is Mitch Baker. And there are 2 away. Zerilli takes third on that. So again, Baker, who caught the first game behind the plate, now playing at first. And a nice play there on a ball that just stayed fair as it was hugging the line. So 2 down, Zerilli now at third in a scoreless game here. And Craig Corliss will try to drive him in. First pitch from Maitland is right through there for a strike. Situational hitting. The Beacons were kind of a mixed bag in that first game. Had a couple of bases loaded opportunities that they squandered. Mainly, as we said earlier, took advantage of some poor defense on the UMD infield in that 4-run rally that they had in the 6th. Certainly credit them for doing that, but they did miss some chances at the plate. 1-1 is up and in. So again, it is 0-0 in this game. You see 5-0 there on our graphic, but 0-0. Here's the 2-1 pitch. That missed downstairs, and they're going to hold Zerilli at third. Here's the 3-1. And the get-me-over breaking ball is in there for a strike to make it 3-2. Corliss wasn't a fan of that. Trying to knock in his 6th run of the season. Had a double and scored a run in the first game. And the lanky right-hander Maitland trying to put him away with the payoff. And he does. Man, that was filth. Breaking ball that caught the bottom of the zone, and it absolutely froze Craig Corliss. 2 looking strikeouts in that first inning for Maitland. We are through 1 in Game 2. No score as we go to the 2nd.
Division III allows you to give yourself to other things.
Having that free time allows me to pursue the things that I want to pursue.
Division III athletics affords students the opportunity to, engage in the other interests in their campus and in their lives outside of that sport.
It allows you to just be able to do everything you want to do. I wouldn't change it for the world.
All right, back for inning number 2. DJ Perron, the right fielder, will lead things off for UMass Dartmouth. In a game that got underway right around 3:20. We're scheduled for 3 o'clock, just a few minutes behind, as this one is grounded left side, backhanded by Zerilli. It's short, and a nice throw across, picked by Corliss. And another fast out for Dylan Ryan. That'll send in Baker, the first baseman. Mentioned this in the first game, if you weren't with us, a lot of Cape blood in this game here today, which you would certainly expect. Some of the best young talent in the entire country plays on the Cape coming up all through high school, and a couple of those guys are the starting pitchers in this game. Dylan Ryan and Logan Maitland were great friends growing up. Talked to the Corsairs pitching coach, George Bent, about that yesterday. This one is popped foul to the right side, out of play. Also, the Corsairs Game 1 starter, Ryan Bruning, is part of that friendship group as well. So these guys know each other very well. Dylan Ryan from Sandwich. You look down, Logan Maitland, we talked about, from Rhode Island. This one is fouled off to the right. Bruning from Barnstable. All on the Cape. They're duking it out here in this doubleheader today. 1-2 pitch from Ryan, trying to make it 5 up and 5 down to start his outing, which he probably should have done. That was right there on the outer black. Didn't get the call. Close. Just missed it. Here's the 2-2 after a long look in. And a swing and a drive into left. Back is Q. Looking up and see ya. Mitch Baker leaves the yard. And again, that pull field to left for right-handed hitters, it's been working all day. And Baker clears the wall to make it 1-0 Corsairs in Game 2. Well, Ryan set down the first 5, but it was not to be 6. Mitch Baker with home run number 2. RBI number 6 on a smashed drive to left. And it's 1-0 UMass Dartmouth. Again, the Beacons falling behind. And here is Wilcar Moreno, who's out there in left today. We didn't see him in Game 1. He swings and misses. Moreno, 10 at-bats. He's got 4 hits, a couple of RBIs, a couple of doubles. Ball and a strike. UMass Dartmouth, they are just full with guys who have power and can hit mistakes up and down this lineup, particularly in the middle. 0-2, good breaking pitch from Ryan, struck him out. His first punch out, 2 away. So with 2 down, here's the DH, Andrew Bryant. Hit by a pitch and reached on a fielder's choice in Game 1. Other than that, 0 for 2. 1-0 misses downstairs. That was Bryant's average coming into the day here at 304. It's dropped a couple of points since. 2-0 pitch. Way outside, 3-0. Frank Salona, another guy we didn't see in game one. He's the catcher for this game. He's on deck. UMass Boston again falling behind here to the Corsairs, and that's a 4-pitch walk. First of the day issued by Ryan. And that'll put Ryan aboard for the catcher Salona. After this one, the Beacons will be headed to Southern Maine on Tuesday, then Western Connecticut on Wednesday. Then after that, they're supposed to play Plymouth State, who of course was originally supposed to be here in this spot for this doubleheader today, but COVID issues in their program forced them to shut down for 10 days. So that's why UMass Dartmouth ended up taking this spot on the Beacon schedule. And the hope is, obviously, that everybody gets to play Plymouth after they get through their pause. Because the entire schedule this year will be conference only for the Beacons, as that's a strike to Salona. Only 6 of the 9 teams will make the Little East Conference tournament. Every other team in the Little East Conference is, here's a throw down to first base. They have the runner picked off. Can they get him at second? Yes. So Bryant picked off of first base. Not sure what he was doing. And they go down and get him 2-3-6 on the putout to end the inning. So we'll tell you more about what's going on with the schedule when we come back. We go to the bottom of the second. 1-0 UMass Dartmouth in game 2.
The University of Massachusetts Boston, with its scenic oceanfront campus, easily accessible to downtown Boston, is recognized as a model of excellence for urban public universities. 16 NCAA Division III sports are part of the more than 100 student organizations that create an engaging campus life in America's biggest and best college town. UMass Boston, Boston's urban public research university for the 21st century.
All right, so as we were alluding to, there's the upcoming slate for the Beacons. But what's unique about the UMass Boston schedule, again, 16 games, all of them conference games. They're going to play each team in the league twice. But every other team in the conference, other than the Beacons, will play each other 4 times. 2 of those games will count for conference. 2 of them will count for non-conference games. So these 2 games that UMass Dartmouth is playing here today count for conference for them. That had to be figured out before they got here. It's a unique setup, but again, it's going to result in a 6-team Little East Conference tournament. And the Beacons, assuming they get there, will be trying to defend their title for the 3rd straight time. They're 3-time defending champions. They've had to go out there and defend it 3 times. But again, they are right at the cutting edge right now. UMass Dartmouth leapfrogging them after the results in the first game, as here's a first pitch strike to Thomas Q. Ball and a strike here to Maitland. 1-1 will miss inside. Kydes and Blake are the three hitters due here. 2-1 will drop in there, strike two. Here's the 2-2. And a little check swing roller out to short. Ramirez up with that. Close play, but they got him. One man down. We'll send in Nico Kydes. And the tall right-hander Maitland misses with ball one. Kydes started and played all 4 games that the Beacons played last year behind the plate. He's, in fact, the only returning starter on this roster. And again, it was only a 4-game season for UMass Boston last year before everything got shut down. Only 6 players who were on the 2019 team that went to the College World Series are still here. Kydes is one of them. Ryan Leung, Danny Colazzo, Tyler Aruda, Dylan Fashion-Poor, who's out injured right now, and Mike Doherty, the other guys. Other than that, all new faces for Brendan Eigebrod and his group. 3-1 to Kydes. And Maitland with the delivery, and this one stays fair to third. Vasquez up with it and unable to pick it as Baker. 3 guys go back there to retrieve it. But that's going to be a throwing error, E5 on Vasquez. Again, Vasquez was playing first base earlier. Mike Nell, who hit the huge 3-run homer, was at third, but things changed up for this game, and Vasquez, with a stronger throw, would have had the out there. Certainly could have been picked by Baker at first, but it all starts with the throw. Here's Aidan Blake, who takes downstairs. See if the Beacons want to put any action on here. Kydes, the catcher, doesn't usually run as this one's drilled out toward deep right field. Perron going back. It's gone. Aidan Blake leaves the yard. And the Beacons with a huge response. His first home run of the year, and it's 2-1 UMass Boston in the second. Now, he hit that one right into the power alley again, out toward deep right field, right where that wind is blowing right now. He took full advantage of it. Called strike to Jason Sullivan. So Maitland surrenders the lead as Sullivan hits a ground ball to short. Ramirez up with that, 2 down. The error also coming back to bite UMass Dartmouth there. Then Blake's home run would have just tied the game, but instead it gives the Beacons the lead. Here's Ben Irvine, center fielder who had a pretty good performance out of the number 9 spot in the first game. Two for 4, a double and an RBI single in game 1. This one misses well inside. Trying to keep the line moving here and get it back to the top of the order. 2-0. Big swing, fouled it straight back. It is just a gorgeous day out here. 2-1 is downstairs, 3-1. The wind that is blowing is actually a nice little breeze, but the pitchers don't think so right now. 3-1, up and away, and it's a walk. So Maitland gives up the 2-run homer after Vasquez made the error, and now he walks the number 9 hitter to swing things back up top for Duco. Struck out looking his first time up. And top of the order hitter takes ball 1 away. Irvine's a guy who will run 2 for 2 in steals. Breaking ball in there for a strike. Irvine looking down at his wrist right now. One count with 2 outs. See if they want to put a little action on. They do. It's a hit and run, and this one is chopped out towards second. DiSarcina, throw was a little bit wide there, almost a collision at first base, but they do get the out, and that retires the side. So we are through 2, but the Beacons with the 2-run homer from Aidan Blake take the lead. 2-1 as we head to the third.
Moving from Turkey, it was a rough journey for me because when you don't really speak the language that well and when you don't really fit in the crowd, it's very easy to disappear. But I decided not to give up, and UMass helped me.
On to the third. And Frank Salona, the catcher, is back up there. Remember, he was at the plate when Andrew Bryant was picked off to end the last inning. So Salona gets another chance. And he was almost hit by that fastball. $11 at bats, .364 with a homer and 4 runs batted in to this point for Frank. Counts 2-0 on him. And now 3-0 as Ryan misses wildly. Number 9 man Matthew Klett, he waits next. And the 3-0 is in there for a strike. Big swing. And comes up empty, 3-2. Ryan trying to avoid a leadoff walk. And here's the 3-2. Punched him out. Nice off-speed pitch. Salona off balance. One man down. She'll send in Matthew Klett. Now, we've talked about some of the guys on the coaching staff for UMass Dartmouth. Bob Prince in his 10th year as the head coach. Talked about George Bent, the pitching coach, some of the insights that he gave us on the guys we've seen on the hill. Klett takes a big swing and comes up empty. But there is one name on the UMass Dartmouth coaching staff that everybody in the game is really glad to see, and that is Ryan Westmoreland. If you grew up following baseball in the New England area, you know that name. This is in there for a strike. It is really an amazing story with Ryan, as it is now hard to believe 12 years since he went in to have a cavernous malformation on his brainstem removed. He was the #1 prospect in the Red Sox minor league system. The guy was destined for a great Major League Baseball career, but he had to go under anesthesia. Never knew if he'd get back on the field. He tried to make a comeback, but then knew that he wanted to stay in the game in some way, shape, or form, and Bob Prince gave him an opportunity to be on the coaching staff. And all the players love him. As the 0-2 is outside for ball one. One-two pitch to Klett. Swing and a miss. Second strikeout for Ryan. 2 up and 2 down. Just to go back to that malformation in his brain that he had. Back in 2010, Ryan Westmoreland, he said he felt some tingling in his fingers when he was playing a game. He realized something wasn't right. So he went and got checked. Turned out it was something on his brainstem that they had to go in and surgically repair. Red Sox invited him to spring training the next year, but had to get a second surgery. And a guy who had been the #1 prospect in the Red Sox system had to give up the game at 22 years old. But now he has resurfaced on the coaching staff for UMass Dartmouth, and again seems to be doing well. And it's just great to see that. 1-1 to DeSarcina. And the pitch from Ryan is right there. 1-2. Trying to go 1-2-3 in the third. One-two pitch. Misses high. Aidan Blake at third base kind of started walking as if he was going to go back to the dugout, but pitch missed. Here's the 2-2. Breaking ball with good movement inside, got him. So he strikes out the side in the third inning. Shutdown inning for Dylan Ryan. We go to the bottom of the third. Beacons up 2-1 here in game 2.
Cheer for the stumbles. The he shoulda had that's. And the tears that linger. For in those moments, greatness lies. There, you will find the provoked, the determined, the unified. It's in those moments that champions are born.
We return for the bottom of the third. 2-1 is the UMass Boston lead. 2, 3, and 4 are due here. Zerilli, Tirone, and Corliss. Zerilli a double his first time up against Logan Maitland. 1-0 misses down. (2-0), and he kind of ducks his elbow out of the way of that. 3-0. (3-0) pitch, and they're going to give him the call for strike one. Zerilli had already kind of half started down toward first, but had to stay where he is. 3-1 is rocketed down the right field line. If that stays fair, it might be gone, but it is just foul. He didn't miss that by much. Couple of feet at most. That thing just hooked to the right of that foul pole. One of the areas where this ballpark is a little weird. Down that right field line, kind of similar to the pesky pole at Fenway. You don't really have to hit it that far if you can angle it just past that foul pole down there. There's ball 4. So he does end up working the walk. After all of that. So here's Tirone. Bounced out on a 3 unassisted back in the first inning. We are playing 9 innings again here in game 2. As first one will miss down in the dirt. And here comes George Bent, the pitching coach. He's going to try to recenter Mainland's mind here. He's kind of gotten a little bit spotty with some of his command. This is not a guy you want to be missing with, Tirone. He certainly has the power to make this a 4-1 game. They go out and chat again. UMass Boston, as of right now, in the 6th and final position in the Little East Conference Tournament. Now, look, there's still a ways to go here. They've got Southern Maine and Western Connecticut coming up next week, which we've talked about. Plymouth State in a doubleheader. Rhode Island, and then Eastern Connecticut in a doubleheader. So there is still time. But Beacon's in need of a victory here, certainly. You don't want to be swept in a doubleheader. Eastern Connecticut is off to a great start. 10-1 in conference play. 20-3 overall. They're in the number 1 spot. I don't think they're losing that. Runner goes, throw down, goes into center, and just now Zerilli realizes it, but it was backed up by Klett. So he wasn't going to be able to take third anyway, but regardless, he's up into scoring position with the stolen base, which is his second of the year, has yet to be caught. Dangerous count now for Maitland. He's behind 2-0 to Tirone, who no doubt is, again, looking at those flags out there in right and looking for something to drive right now. He takes one low and away. Corliss is next. Maitland just trying to throw a strike here. And instead, it's a 4-pitch walk. So he did not want to give in to Tirone. And back-to-back walks start the third inning and set the stage for Corliss. That was Craig's average coming into the doubleheader at 471. One for three with a walk in the first game. First and second, nobody out, and the breaking ball is in there for strike one. Maitland hoping for a ground ball somewhere. Trying to get a double play and get out of this. But the Beacons trying to do some serious damage. Long look back to the runner at second. The pitch misses high. There's been a lot of action out there on the base paths in this one. We've seen guys get picked off at second base. Saw that in the first game. Actually, that happened with Zerilli, who's the guy standing out there right now. He takes a big lead out there, and they know it. The double steal is on. Throw's going to go to third, not in time. And now the UMass Dartmouth dugout pointing toward third base. They don't think Zerilli ever touched it. But they end up giving him the safe sign and the stolen base, so the Beacons pull off the double steal. Zerilli to third and Tirone to second. And now that takes the double play out of order for the moment. And it's 1-2 on Corliss, who can make it out and get another run in. That one misses away. Bob Prince, everybody in that UMass Dartmouth dugout immediately pointed to the bag at third base. They thought that Zerilli never touched it, but a two-man umpiring crew, umpire standing at second base, immediately said safe. Here's the 2-2. Just missed. And now a full count. So the Beacons on the verge of having the bases loaded with nobody out. Chance to break this one open early. Thomas Q is waiting on deck. Here's the 3-2 pitch. And strike three called. Corliss can't believe it. As he walks back toward the dugout, that's a huge strikeout for out number one for Maitland. So here's Q. Runners still at second and third with one out. Grounded out to short his first time up. Again, can drive a run in with an out. He takes ball one. Dartmouth infield is at double play depth. One-0. Misses low away. That's where Maitland has really been struggling here. Not getting consistent location on the outside part of the plate. That's hurting him right now. We're starting to get somebody up behind him in the bullpen. 2-0. Wave and a miss. That was an awkward-looking swing. Makes it 2-1. Hugh was kind of caught in between whether he wanted to or not. Here's the 2-1. Outside again, 3-1, and he just can't spot anything out there right now. You wonder how much longer Bob Prince is going to let Maitland go. Every at-bat has become a struggle. Here's the 3-1. Outside again, ball four. So he has loaded the bases. 3 walks in the inning. And now Kydes coming to the plate. So Maitland has totally lost his command here. Zerilli at third, Tirone at second, Q at first. And Kydes, who reached on an error his first time and then came around to score, is the man at the plate. Infield is hoping for a double play. Instead, a drive into center. Back goes Klett, still going back, shy of the track to make the catch. This is going to make it a 3-1 game as tagging to score is Zerilli. And on the sacrifice fly, Kydes puts the Beacons back up by 2. Tirone takes third. And Q stays put at first base on that. Sacrifice fly for Kydes makes it 3-1, and here's Aidan Blake, who had the 2-run homer his first time up. Out to right center. Runner at first base goes, and the pitch skips in. So Q takes second. You see that so often, especially in the college game with runners on the corners. Teams will send that runner at first base trying to draw a throw down to second so that the runner from third can charge home, but that one skipped in. So no chance for any throw. What it does is it gives the Beacons another runner in scoring position, and a base hit here could really do some damage. 1-1 is ripped, foul off to the right and into the parking garage. Maitland trying to get out of this. Here's the 1-2. Wave and a miss. Blake started running toward first base, but it was caught by Salona, and that retires the side. So all things considered, Maitland did pretty well there to only give up the 1. But the Beacons do add 1. We go to the 4th in Game 2, 3-1 UMass Boston.
I did receive a non-athletic scholarship upon entering school.
I got the presidential scholarship, which was huge for me.
I think there's more opportunities for academic scholarships in Division III.
I did receive academic scholarships. Just being involved on campus, being a leader, all those things combined kind of get me recognized. It's a great experience for me.
All right, finally on to the 4th here. That bottom of the 3rd inning was a battle for Maitland, but he managed to get out of it, only giving up 1. Here's Eric Ramirez, who flied to right his first time up. He takes ball 1 away. Are into the danger zone in this UMass Dartmouth order now. Ramirez, Vasquez, Perron, big swing and a miss. Baker, who has a home run today. Every one of these guys can leave the yard in a hurry. Pitch to Ramirez. He takes a strike. One and two. Ryan looking for his fourth straight punch out. He's got 4 in the game right now. In fact, he's punched out 4 of the last 5. Here's 2-2. And a roller to third. Up with it is Blake. And they're going to have to hustle to get Ramirez, and they do. So he is 0 for 2 here in the second game, which brings up Vasquez. Fly to center for him back in the first. And Dylan Ryan is trying to give Brendan Eigebrot a quality start here in game 2 of this doubleheader so that they don't have to dip too much into the bullpen. As this one is fouled back over, well, not quite over us. It hit the top of the net. In the first game, we saw Tim Cianciola go the first 5 2/3, gave up 3 runs on 6 hits, didn't walk anybody, struck out 5. Then Alessio Presamarita and Alex Amalfi were the other 2 guys we saw come in. Well, they'd love to get as much out of Ryan here as they can. You get the sense that they're going to let him go as far as he can. 1-1. Chopped foul at the plate. Can't get on the same page here with Kydes. He just shook off about 3 different pitches. Here's the 1-2. Popped him up into right center. This one carrying back, and it's actually over Irvine. And heading into second base is Vasquez. The wind played with that, no question. That just looked like a lazy fly to center. That's what Irvine thought off the bat. And then it just kept carrying away from him. And by the end, he couldn't catch up to it, so it's a 1-out double. Vasquez is trouble again. And here comes Perron. Oh for 1 with a bouncer to short. And now out of the stretch, Ryan has time called at the plate here. That was a long look back towards second at Vasquez. And a bluff back there now. They're not going to make the throw. Vasquez 1 for 2 this year in stolen bases. He's going to try to steal third here. You better be sure you're going to make it. This one's fouled off to the right. You're down 2 runs. You're already in scoring position, so really the focus and attention of Dylan Ryan should be on Perron here at the plate. Vasquez is doing whatever he can to try and distract out there. Dancing around. Here's the 0-1. Fouled off to the right. Oh, 2 pitch to Perron. Missed, low and away. DJ, their best hitter coming in, had an average of .407 in 59 at-bats coming into the doubleheader. And went 1 for 4 in the first game with a single. They did well against him the first time around, but you don't keep guys like this down for long. 1-2, and he foul tipped it into the mitt for strike 3, and down he goes. That's a big strikeout for the second out of the inning, and here's Mitch Baker again. Home run his first time up, over the wall and left. And he swings and pops this one up right-hand side. It's going to go into foul territory. Can Corliss get it? He can. And that retires the side. So good work from Dylan Ryan after the one-out double to strand Vasquez there at second. We go to the bottom of the fourth in Game 2, 3-1 Beacons.
College has given me the flexibility to pursue my passions and my interests, and I've recreated my identity for myself aside from just being an athlete.
My greatest personal discovery has been that I am capable of doing things that I didn't know I was capable of doing.
To be able to study what I wanted to and continue to play the sport I love, all of those things came together very nicely in one package in Division III.
Eight, 9, and 1 for UMass Boston here in the fourth. Jason Sullivan will start it. Grounded out to short back in the second. After him, it'll be Irvine and then Duco. As ball 1 is fired here. And a swing and a foul straight back. This is a new pitcher here for UMass Dartmouth. This is the right-hander Ryan Qualey, who has entered the game. This one is going to float outside, 2-1. So the day is done for the starter Maitland. This one dips inside. Maitland goes the first 3 innings, gives up 3 runs on 2 hits. And they go to Qualey, who is in his 5th appearance, 1-0 with a 3.27 ERA. This one grounded out to short on one hop. Ramirez has it for the first out. Quayle is a guy who throws a sinker really as his primary pitch. He'll go to a four-seam fastball late in at-bats. Got a slider and a changeup as well, but it's really about the sinker. He gets a lot of ground balls with that, as he just did with Sullivan. So UMass Dartmouth into the bullpen in the 4th inning of the 2nd game of a doubleheader. They had to use 2 guys out of the pen in the 1st game, and we would imagine Robbie Carrillo, the closer, we're not going to see him after his great effort to end game 1, going multiple innings. 2-1 on Irvine, who walked back in the 2nd. And this one plunked him. Right on the front leg. And down to first he goes. So he's walked and he's been hit by a pitch. And now back up to Duco. 0 for 2 in this one, a strikeout and a grounder to second. Irvine is 2 for 2 in steals this year if he wants to go. And clearly they think something's up. They check on him again. This game just over an hour old at this point. Game 2 of the doubleheader. Squaring around to bunt now. Duco, but he pulls back and takes a ball. And they'll go back over again. This one was closer, but Irvine manages to dive back. A lot of things that the Beacons could do here. Could be a bunt. Could be a hit and run, outright steal. And he's running. Pitch is a strike. Throw down is on the money. What a throw from Salona. So that's the first time this season Irvine has been caught. We had the perfect angle on that here right behind home plate. You could see the dart that Salona threw down there and the tag applied. Just a perfect throw. So 2 out now in the inning. And the 2-1 is going to get a piece of the umpire off the foot. Two and 2 on Duco. Two pitch. Struck him out. On a high fastball, Duco couldn't catch up. Second time he struck out here in this second game. We are through 4. The caught stealing was big there. 3-1 UMB.
Being a part of the different activities and organizations that I've been a part of, I'm actually able to see myself where I'm like, hey, I actually can make a change. I'm one person that can make a difference.
Division III has helped me to develop teamwork skills, critical thinking skills, time management skills.
It's not just about basketball, or it's not just about school, it's about developing yourself as a person altogether.
Here we go to inning number 5. And Wilcar Moreno leads things off for UMass Dartmouth here. Struck out against Dylan Ryan back in the second as he fires ball 1. One 0 pitch. Big cut. Came up empty. One 1 is fouled off to the right, out of play. Moreno has started 4 of the 7 games that he's played in to this point. And he goes after one in the dirt here, and he just got a piece of it to stay up there. Both sides with 2 hits here in the 5th inning, but the Beacons have made the most of theirs. 2-run homer by Aidan Blake. The big blow here right now in this game, 2-2. Moreno's another big, imposing guy, 6'5", 225. This is chopped to third. Blake has that, and the throw across is on the money for the first out. One away for the DH, Bryant. UMass Dartmouth as a team coming into today had hit 13 home runs. Told you about all the power in this order. And they've hit 3 more thus far here in the doubleheader. Bryant walked his first time up back in the second and then was picked off to end that inning. Dylan Ryan has, for the most part, been in command as this one is tapped over to third. Blake's been active over there, and the throw's in time, 2 down. He had that 1 run of strikeouts in the second and the third, Dylan Ryan did, where he punched out 4 of 5. 1 more strikeout in the fourth, but other than that, he's been, for the most part, pitching to contact and doing a pretty good job of it. Here's Salona, the catcher, and did that hit him, or did it actually get the helmet of the catcher Kydes. It hits something solid. And now both sides are going to come out. It may actually be the home plate umpire who was hit. I think that's the case because the base umpire comes in, make sure he's all right. That clanked off of the mask of the home plate umpire. And this is the etiquette of the game here. Bob Prince and Brendan Eigenbrot both came out to give the home plate umpire a minute. But thankfully he's okay. Here's the 1-0. Big swing and a miss to make it 1-1. It's got to be hard for any hitter who has any amount of power on a day like this, as they watch the balls flying out of here in the dugout, not to go up and swing for the fences. This one is bobbled at short, and the throw over is not going to be in time. That's an error on Zerilli. Inning should be over. But instead, that's an E6. If he comes up with that cleanly, they would have had him at first base. But he bobbles it. And that is the first error of the second game here for UMass Boston. They made 3 of them in game 1. Now the number 9 hitter, Klett, trying to make that costly. Those are the types of mistakes you just can't make against a good lineup like this. Good block by Kydes here. One-0. Well outside. And we're going to have a meeting at the mound here. We are. Took a while to get the attention of the home plate umpire, but pitching coach is going to go out there. Assistant coaches on the UMass Boston staff, Brad Fogel, Justin Kelly, Jackie Reynolds, Fernando Burgos, and Cal Berman. Told you the story about Ryan Westmoreland on the UMass Dartmouth staff. We've talked about George Bent a lot today, their pitching coach. Ryan McCarthy, Mike Pratt, Jay Schnabel, the other assistant coaches for the Corsairs. Mark Piantadosi, by the way, is the home plate umpire. And Frank Auditor is the base umpire. 2-man umpiring crew for this doubleheader. Those guys out there working hard today, too. 2-0 to Klett. And he swings and drives this one to dead center. Back goes Irvine. It's going to be up and over his head. It's going to one-hop the wall. They're waving Salona around. Here comes the throw into third. It's a 1-run game. The error is costly on the RBI double by Klett. You just had a feeling when you saw Zerilli make that error with 2 out that UMass Dartmouth was going to make it hurt, and they did. RBI double by the number 9 hitter. And now it's back up top into the danger zone here. Here's DeSarcina, who has yet to get on base today. Throw back to second. They picked him. How many times have we seen a pickoff at second today? And again, this time it goes in the Beacon's favor. I mean, there's no excuse for that. Klett, as the tying run, gets cut down. Bullet of a throw by Ryan, and they apply the tag. Wow. Halfway through game 2, it's now a 3-2 game.
I just wanted to get good grades and to do well. But it also made me realize that I have a lot of career goals.
You're there to get a full college experience, not only participate in your sport, but participate in things outside of that, and it's all about growing as a person.
My coaches have helped me with figuring out who I really am. Their lives are dedicated for us to succeed.
Halfway through game 2 of the doubleheader, on to the bottom of the 5th now. 3-2 is the UMass Boston lead. They have added to their team pickoff total. They've had 2 in these couple of games today, up to 3 now on the season, and a first pitch single for Gianni Zarilli. So he's been on all 3 times here in the second game. A double, a walk, and now a single. So Zarilli on, and here comes Tirone. A walk and a stolen base for him in this game, his last time up in the 3rd. Zarilli at first base looks like he wants to take off, but he didn't there. 0-1. They pulled off a double steal with both Zarilli and Tirone on the bases back in the 3rd. Oh, 0-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss, and Tyrone's going to go down on 3 pitches. That's a big out for Quayle. 1 man down here. Here comes Corliss, who has struck out looking both times he's been up there. But that was against Maitland, the starter. This is his first look at Quayle as they throw over to first. Action now in the UMass Boston bullpen. Somebody throwing down there. Looks like a left-hander who's up for them, and also corresponding action in the Corsairs bullpen right now. They have a righty going. Crucial portion of this game here in the middle innings. Good breaking ball there for a strike. UMass Dartmouth took the first game 7-5. They got a run back the top half of this inning to make it 3-2. Beacons trying to hold on. And another throw over. They are really concerned about Zarilli here. He's still not going, and the pitch misses away. One and one. Another throw over. And again, this is a situation where if you're UMass Dartmouth, you're down a run. But really your focus should be on the guy at the plate here. 1-1, and Zerilli went about a quarter of the way, but bluffed it. Now it's 1-2. Thought they might try and put on some type of hit and run action here maybe, but to this point they haven't. 1-2, Zerilli's going. There's the hit and run play and a ground ball to first. And Baker takes it to the bag himself, but up to second, Zerilli. So they did go with the hit and run, but not until the 1-2 count. So 2 down now, Zerilli in scoring position for Q. Walked and stole second as last time. Grounded out to short back in the second, and he gets this one off the end of the bat into right, and Perron has to move over a couple of steps to his left, and he makes the play, and that's that. The Beacons get another man into scoring position, but cannot score him. We go to the 6th. 3-2 Beacons.
Something I discovered in myself is that if I have a goal, I can accomplish it.
The well-rounded experience.
At a Division III school, you primarily a student athlete, so the school is really shaped around you developing yourself as a complete individual.
It helps a lot that you have a family with your team that can guide you.
All right, as we come back for inning number 6, we have a new pitcher on the UMass Boston side. And it is the right-hander Christian Candelario Romero, who we thought we would see today. Good right-hander, excellent secondary pitches. Transfer from Patrick Henry Community College in Virginia, where he had 11 starts there back in 2017. 5-2 with a 4.76 ERA. And coming into this one, his second appearance here this season. 3 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs in his first outing of 2021. The ERA sitting at 6. And the last name too long to fit in our graphic, obviously, but Candelario Romero will face the top 3 batters in the UMass Dartmouth order. He's going to get DiSarcina, Ramirez, and Vasquez. DiSarcina gets another chance here after he was at the plate when Klett was picked off of second to end last inning. That was against Dylan Ryan, whose day is done after 5. 2 runs on 3 hits, 1 earned. 1 walk, 4 strikeouts, so a pretty solid start for Dylan Ryan. Would have liked maybe a little bit more length, but Brendan Eigebrot elects to take him out after 5 innings and turn it over to Candelario Romero here. And look at that slow breaking ball get up there for strike 2. Would have loved to see the velo on that thing. That was almost looked like an ephus. Probably wasn't, but based on the other guys we've seen throw today. There's another one, and it's strike 3 called. Well, he sets down DiSarcina. I don't think he had a clue what he was looking at. Yeah, he doesn't. He goes back to the dugout. He's shaking his head. That is such a contrast from the other guys we've seen on the mound today on both sides. But this guy can really mess you up. Here's Ramirez, 0 for 2. And he swings at the fastball. First one of those we saw. It was all break balls to DiSarcina. Candelario Romero is ready to throw. And a slow topper down the third base side, but foul. This is another guy who likes to work quickly. Here's the 0-2, and he missed high with it. Well, that is some combination he's got. He's got a pretty good heater that you saw right there, and then he can break out that slow curveball. What does he go with here? There's the curveball, and he struck him out. 2 up and 2 down. That'll send in Vasquez. Candelario Romero had 2 strikeouts in his first outing. Already got 2 here. And a swing and a slow roller back out to the mound by Vasquez. Throw to first in time. That is an outstanding inning from Candelario Romero. No doubt he'll be going back out there for the 7th. We go to the bottom of the 6th. 1-run game.
Celebrate the soggy shoes and the slow starts. Celebrate the lessons learned along the way. These are the wins. Not the shiny nail-biting kind. These are the last a lifetime kind.
All right, we bring it back here for the bottom of the 6th inning. Let's take another look at this. Candelario Romero, you try to figure out what pitch this is. This is the punch out of DiSarcina. I mean, it's right there on the black. And here's the other one to Ramirez that got him swinging. I mean, he can make you look like a fool with that pitch. And we saw DiSarcina walking off back to the dugout, shaking his head like he didn't know what he just saw. And now, drilled by the first pitch of the inning is Kydes. So it's still Quayle out there for UMass Dartmouth. He hits Kydes with the pitch. So another runner on for the Beacons, I should say. That'll send Aidan Blake up there. You get the sense that UMass Boston is going to need more than 3 runs to win this game. They're going to need to tack on here at some point. Blake is already squaring around to bunt. They throw over to first. But this makes sense. You're 9 outs away from the win. You have to extend the lead beyond 1 run against this team, so you try to get that lead runner into scoring position with the sacrifice bunt. He takes a strike. See if Blake can put one down here. You have the third baseman, Vasquez, in on the grass. And he was charging in when Quayle delivered the pitch. And Blake now acting like he was going to swing away, and he takes strike 2. So they pulled the bunt sign back. See if they want to put it back on here with 2 strikes. 0-2, they do not, and that is rifled but foul. Oh-2 runs it in. As we said, there is action behind Quayle down in the UMD bullpen. If he gets into too much trouble here, he's probably coming out. 1-2, and he didn't quite spot it. A little bit low and outside. Here's the 2-2. Popped it up. Foul ground out of play off to the right into the bleachers. Which are, for the most part, empty. As we said in the first game, there are no spectators allowed at these games here. Guys you see behind home plate are from both teams. Guys with the radar gun. 2-2. And he just caught a piece of that, fouled back. Still do have, though, as we said earlier, some people up on the top of the parking garage here off to our right who are out in the sun looking down on the game. It's a beautiful day for that. This is fouled off to the right. Two-two. Up and away, now a full count. See if they send the runner at first base. They don't. This one is topped foul down the left side. Kydes, the catcher, does not run particularly well. But with the full count, you never know here. Especially if they want to put on a hit and run. This has been a long at bat. 3-2 pitch. Kydes doesn't go. It's ball 4. So a hit batsman and a walk start the inning for Quayle. And now you're working toward the bottom of the order, and we're going to see the same move that we saw Brendan Eigebrot make in the first game. He's going to pinch hit Nick Palma for Jason Sullivan. Did this in a very similar spot in game 1. And Palma came through with an RBI single. And then Ryan Leung ended up coming in to play second base, and Eigebrot's going to call a meeting here. He's going to bring in his 2 base runners, Kydes from second and Blake from first. So this tells you here that no doubt something's up. They're either going to put on a sacrifice bunt, maybe a squeeze down the line. They're trying to get these 2 runners up into scoring position here. And he just wants everybody to be on the same page with it. So, Palma, the left-handed batter, into the box. Had been hitting 200 in 10 at-bats coming into the first game, but again, had the RBI single. His second RBI of the season. And already he's squaring around, so they're going to throw to second. But Kydes is back. Well, it tells you that Eigebrot and the coaching staff feel that Palma handles the bat better than Jason Sullivan does. And now Solona wants to make sure that everybody on the Corsairs infield has all the signs straight. They're going to try a sacrifice bunt here, it appears. Palma is all the way squared around. He takes a ball outside. Vasquez at third base was borderline in the batter's box when that pitch got to home plate. He was charging in hard. And then Ramirez, the shortstop, went over to cover third. And now again, they want to be sure about the signs here. Whaley is trying to work his way out of this. Can he get one down softly enough? 1-0. Now he's not squaring around. He takes ball 2. So that's the same thing they did with Aidan Blake. They had him squaring around at the first pitch, and then they took the sign off. And now George Bent wants to go out there and have a chat about this. Could just be a mind game that they had him squaring around at the start of the at-bat, and then they took it off just to put it back on. So both sides here have the wheels spinning, and they're trying to figure out what they want to do here. Both sides have been confused about the signs, particularly on the UMass Dartmouth side. They've had to go through their sign sequence several times here, just trying to get it straight. So now it's a 2-0 count. And what are they going to do with Palma here? Do they have him square again? Is the question right now. Initially, they do. And he takes ball 3. So the issue right now with Quayle is that he just can't throw a strike. They're attempting to hand him an out here with a sacrifice bunt. But he just can't throw strikes right now. You got to think on 3-0, Palma's taking all the way here, and he is. So now what on 3-1? A long look into the dugout and at his sleeve for Palma. He's going to square. 3-1. And he does drop it down. They looked at third, but Vasquez will get the out at first. So after all that, Palma does get the job done. He gets Kydes to third and Blake to second with the sacrifice. So now Ben Irvine, second and third, 1 out. Kydes the runner at third. Blake the runner at second. Infield is at medium depth right now as he takes ball 1 away. So they're leaving Quayle in the game, at least for the moment. You got to figure that the contact play is probably on for any ball hit at an infielder here. Instead, this one's hit in the air, should get the run in. Out into right center. It is going to be caught out there by Perron. The run will come in and score. Throw is cut off, and the sac fly makes it 4-2. Blake down to third on that. And the RBI for Irvine, and that is exactly what the Beacons wanted to do. Talked about how they wanted to improve their situational play, and they just straight out manufactured that run. Sacrifice bunt, and then the sacrifice fly. And now this one hit in the air to left by Duco, and Moreno is under that for out number 3. So they add 1, but that's it. We go to inning number 7, 4-2, UMass Boston.
The University of Massachusetts Boston. It's just minutes from downtown, and the Princeton Review calls it one of the best values in the country. A nationally recognized institution of academic excellence and research, UMass Boston offers more than 150 undergraduate and graduate programs, 16 Division III sports, and more than 100 student organizations. To learn more about the opportunities waiting for you at UMass Boston, visit in person or online. UMass Boston, a research university with a teaching soul.
Okay, so same exact thing happened as we saw in Game 1. Nick Palma pinch hit for Jason Sullivan, and now Ryan Leung has come in to play second base. So that same swap has taken place here. And DJ Perron leads off the inning against Candelario Romero, and he taps this one foul back to the screen. Nine more outs to get for UMass Boston here. They're trying to salvage the second game of this doubleheader. And the 0-1 will miss downstairs, 1-1. Nobody up right now behind Candelario Romero. Beacons need him to go probably the next 2 innings, you would think. Breaking ball is in there for a strike. Perron didn't agree. And now the 1-2 home is in the air. Shallow center. Does anybody see it? It is going to drop. And Perron will be into second safely. That is a crucial mistake. You could tell right off the bat that they didn't see that cleanly. Or clearly, rather. As Leung, who's just into the game, and Zerilli both went out there. They were the 2 guys who had the best shot at it, and they both kind of came together, and it glanced off of Zerilli's glove. That's a costly error. E6. And now Mitch Baker, who had a home run earlier, represents the tying run. And he takes ball 1 low and in. That home run was a solo shot back in the second. 1-0. Good breaking ball there for a strike. Candelario Romero trying to work around the leadoff error. This one's chopped foul down the third base side. Quickly, let's take another look now at that ball that dropped in. Into shallow center. Here it was. And Zerilli and Leung both going out there trying to figure out where it is, and it was Zerilli who had to make a lunging effort at it at the end. Puts the leadoff man in scoring position. Here's the 1-2. This one is just foul down the third base side. So there should be 1 out in the inning, but that sun right now is causing some issues. Seen some balls hit out into the outfield today that guys have lost sight of. Late afternoon, it is bright out there right now. This is popped up foul off to the right. Wilcar Moreno will be next. Play here in the 7th inning of a 9-inning game in game 2 of a doubleheader. This one's drilled deep into center. Irvine going back. He leaps up. He can't get it. Now heading into third is Perron. They're going to send him around. Throw will come all the way to the plate. It's late. And it's back to a 1-run game. You could tell it was trouble off the bat as Irvine went back on it, had a chance, but it would have been a sensational catch if he came up with that. Instead, it hits off the wall, and now the error highlighted because the run comes in to score, and we're going to have a pinch hitter. So it's not going to be Moreno here. This is going to be the Game 1 starter, Tucker Heatherman. So they go to the lefty batter here. To face Candelario Romero. At the very least, he wants to just advance that runner up to third as he takes a strike. There was that slow curveball again. Heatherman came into the day at 286. For 2 with a walk in game 1. 0-1 misses away. So the error starts the inning, then the RBI double. And now the tying run in scoring position with nobody out for UMass Dartmouth. It can get away from you quickly, especially against a good lineup like this. 1-1 is going to skip up there. Nice block by Kydes. Two-one pitch. 3-1. Bryant, the DH, is on deck. It was the 7th inning in game 1 that was the big inning for UMass Dartmouth when they had the 3-run homer from Mike Nell to put them on top. They're going for a repeat here. 3-1 is in there for a strike. And the count is full, and now we're starting to see some guys scurry around down in the UMass Boston pen. The 3-2 pitch. In the air to left. Back is Q. The wind carrying this one, and that's going to one-hop the wall and tie the game. Throw goes into second, not in time. It's 4-4, back-to-back RBI doubles, this one by the pinch hitter Heatherman. So Candelario Romero had an excellent 6th inning, 1-2-3. But then he got into the heart of the order here. And it has slipped away quickly. The error started it on the ball hit by Perron that Zerilli didn't see. Lost it in the sun. RBI double for Baker, RBI double for Heatherman. He now represents the go-ahead run at second base. Still nobody out here. And it's Andrew Bryant, the designated hitter. At this point, UMass Boston just trying to maintain the tie. Swing and a miss at that slow curveball. Left-hander is again throwing down in the UMass Boston pen, and quickly now. Bryant is 0 for 1 with a walk. 1-1. Boy, both of these games have just been outright battles between these two. They've played so many of these games over the years. And they're doing so again here today. Swing and a miss to make it 1-2. Strikeout would be huge here. Bryant is just trying to advance that runner to third with less than 2 out, if he can. That would be considered a success. 2-2. Been a tough at bat here by Bryant. Making Candelario Romero really work. And he just missed a called strike 3 there. Went back to the breaker. This game has once again grinded to a halt here in the 7th inning. 3-2 pitch, ball 4. And down to first is Bryant. So they still don't have an out here in the 7th inning. And the right-handed hitter, Salona, coming to the plate. They're going to leave Candelario Romero in there for right now. Again, from what we saw, it's a lefty who's throwing down in the bullpen. You have the lefty Klett on deck. This may be it here for Candelario Romero. We'll see. What does Salona want to do? First and second, nobody out. This could be another spot for a bunt. And he's squaring around. Takes ball 1. You got the first baseman, Corliss, who's basically even with the mound when the ball is released. One-0 pitch. He gets it down, straight back to the mound. Throw's going to go to third, and they get him. So they get the lead runner. On the throw over, Aidan Blake, the third baseman, had to kind of hopscotch his way around the runner there, Heatherman. So on the fielder's choice, Salona reaches, and now they're going to pinch hit for Matthew Klett. So they will not send the left-handed bat up there. Instead, it's going to be Mike Nell, the man who hit the 3-run homer in the 7th in Game 1. 6 home runs on the season. This guy has huge power. First and second, 1 out. Strike 1 on the inside corner. Candelario Romero getting set. 1-0 to Nell. Hit that one well, but foul off to the right. Do not want to leave one out over the middle against this guy again. One. And he was trying to leave the yard with that swing, fouled it back. And they got to run some new baseballs out to Mark Piantosi, the home plate umpire. And meanwhile, Eigebrot's going to go out for a chat. He doesn't want the infield in on this. Infield was all coming in, and he told him to stay away. Wants to have a couple words with his battery. One and two the count. They got the lead runner on the sacrifice bunt attempt. But Candelario Romero still in big trouble. The pinch hitter Nell trying to send that UMass Dartmouth dugout into a frenzy here. 1-2. These two teams, talked about it all day long, bunched up in the standings, right at the cutting edge of making the tournament right now. Long way to go. But you just never know which games are going to be the ones that decide things in the end. 2-2 is a breaking ball for strike three called, and Nell can't believe it. That is a huge out number two. He went back to the breaking ball for the second out. And now it's back up top to DiSarcina, who is 0 for 8 today in both games. Their leadoff batter trying to come through here. He takes a breaking ball in the dirt. Bryant at second. Salona at first. UMass Dartmouth with 2 runs across to tie this game. And now they're trying to break the Beacons' hearts again. 1-0 is on the ground left side. Blake is there. Throw to first is going to be in time. And that will retire the side. Candelario Romero gives up the 2 runs, but does a good job of keeping the game tied. We go to the bottom of the 7th. It's 4-4.
Paris changed my life, and I got there through UMass. Those very specific seminal moments in Paris. The subway. A man in a tuxedo walked in, and a woman in a long gown. And it was stunning. It all hit me. It was like a lightning bolt. There was this world of beauty and style that I wanted to be a part of. That was the beginning of the journey. And that all came through the University of Massachusetts. And that was really a key moment for me. That's one of those moments you never forget.
All right, so we have several changes to talk about. There's number 1. Dean Streech is the new pitcher. Right-hander for UMass Dartmouth. This his 5th appearance. 0-0 with a 2.79 ERA. He's worked 9 2/3 innings and given up 6 runs, but only 3 of them have been earned. And this guy has kind of an unorthodox delivery, straight over the top. He'll throw his fastball in his upper 80s. Good changeup. You see, he kind of halts that delivery when he leans back. This will be interesting. Quayle is done. And Streach now into the game, but also changes in the field. Tyler Lyons has now taken over out in center. And Heatherman stays in the game in left. Tucker Heatherman. So that means that Lyons will be the guy batting out of the number 9 spot that Mike Nell just pinch hit in. Meanwhile, Streach against Gianni Zorilli. That's ball 1. Gianni's been on all 3 times today in this second game. Beacons need him to get on again right here. Ball 2. One more like that, and Zorilli will be on with a walk for the second time here in game 2. And a strike. Beacons dugout didn't think so. Here's the 3-1 from Streach. And that misses high, so he does get on with the leadoff walk. He's been on all 4 times here in game 2, and that brings in Tirone. Now, this is an interesting situation because Tirone is their best hitter. Typically, you don't want to sacrifice with your best hitter at the plate, but you got to wonder if it's at least in the back of Igabrot's mind here, trying to get that go-ahead run up into scoring position. They were able to manufacture one earlier. I don't think they do it with Tirone at the plate. Clearly not, because he was swinging for the fences. 0-1. He's grounded to first, he's walked, and he's struck out. Could also send the runner here at first base, and they're going to check on that. Zorilli has stolen 2 bases in this second game. A 1. Misses up and away. That would not have been the pitch to run on there. UMass Dartmouth has come back to tie it. And the Beacons, with the right part of the order up here, try and get back on top. They got the leadoff walk. And another throw over. And Zorilli, who has been picked off of second base in the first game of the doubleheader today. Got to be careful. One. Big swing and a drive. Deep right field. Perron going back at the wall. It's out of here. Tirone goes deep. And the Beacons go up 6-4. He got a ball out over the heart of the plate, and he just did not miss it. Beacons back up by 2 as the crazy swings continue here in this doubleheader. Corliss takes a ball. First home run of the season for Tirone, and it could not have come at a bigger time. The Beacons now being out-hit 6-4, but leading in the run column 6-4. And Streach has surrendered the lead. 2-1 is in for a strike. UMass Boston now 6 outs away from putting this one into the win column. 6 defensive outs. And the 2-2 will miss. Streach has still yet to get an out. Three-two. In the air to deep right center again. Back goes Perron. He's got a little more room this time, and he makes the catch. That's out number 1. And with the way balls have been carrying out in that direction today, you're almost stunned it didn't go out. So finally the first out, and here's Thomas Q. Takes fastball outside. Top of the 8th inning, it's going to be 2, 3, and 4. Ramirez, Vasquez, and Perron for UMass Dartmouth. Big swing and a miss by Q. And you wonder if it's still going to be Candelario Romero for UMass Boston. Swing and a foul tip. Makes it 1-2. Bullpen is silent right now for the Beacons as this one bounces in. It may well be that Candelario Romero goes back out there for another inning. Now there's a left-hander who's getting up again. This one is popped up. Foul ground. It'll get just over us. Both sides have scored a pair here in the 7th inning. This one laced up the middle for a base hit. Lyons goes over to cut it. They're going to push for 2. Throw comes in. It's not in time. Outstanding base running that time by Q. As an outfielder himself, knowing that Lyons had a ways to go and knowing that he could stretch that into an extra base hit. So Streach has given up a lot of hard contact here. He's not missing many bats. Kydes now the batter. Ball 1. He's reached on an error, hit a sac fly, I should say, and then has been hit by a pitch. He scored 2 runs. A lot of dancing at second base, and the throw was nowhere close to the bag because DiSarcina was nowhere close to the bag. I think Streach was expecting him to be there and had already made up his mind that he was going to throw that ball and then somehow got it to the right of the bag. That could have been a disaster. 1-1 now. That's one of those situations, too, where as the pitcher, you kind of have to let that ball go because if you try to stop when you've already made your mind up, that's where a lot of injuries can happen. Here's a foul tip at the plate. Q was taken off, but have to go back. And Mark Piantadosi behind the plate had to give Salona another minute there. That one glanced off him. 1-2. Missed high. It just feels like in these two games today, no lead is big enough on either side. Been back and forth all day. 2-2 is going to skip in there, and now Q is able to take third. Payoff pitch. Ball 4 high. So another walk with Aidan Blake now coming to the plate. That's now the 7th walk issued by UMass Dartmouth pitchers in this second game. First pitch misses, low and away to Blake. This is a spot with a guy at third who can run a little bit in Q, where you have to at least consider the possibility of a squeeze. I'm not saying they're going to do it, but it's certainly possible. Instead, forget that. This one drilled into left center. Oh, what a diving play. No, he didn't get it. Lions didn't get it out of thin air. Throw into second is not in time. They're going to say he trapped the ball in center. That would have been a spectacular catch. But instead, the run comes in to score, and it's an RBI single for Blake to make it 7-4. And see if this is it for Streech. While we have this meeting at the mound, we'll take a look at that near terrific catch by Lions in center. The base umpire, Frank Auditor, immediately said that he trapped it. You take a look here. As he runs over, he got a great jump. Yeah, hard to tell from that angle, obviously, but Frank Auditor immediately said that he trapped it. He had the best look at it of anybody. So it ends up an RBI single. Streech is done. And we'll take a quick timeout. Big 7th inning for the Beacons. All right, so this is very interesting. Robbie Carrillo is the closer for UMass Dartmouth. We saw him go the final 3+ innings to win game 1 for them. And now he's back in there with his team trailing by 3 in the 7th inning of Game 2. So this tells you, I think, how little trust they have in some of the other guys down there in that bullpen and how thin they are, because they have to go back to Carrillo here in this situation. Three runs already in for the Beacons, and now Ryan Leung gets his first at-bat of the day since coming in to play second. Still only one out here. It's Kydes at second and Blake at first. And Streech came in for UMass Dartmouth, just did not have much of anything. The only out he recorded was a deep fly out to the track by Corliss. Here's a beautiful bunt, but it ends up going foul. Leung trying to drop one down there. Oh and 1. And Carrillo misses high. Nobody else doing anything down in the Dartmouth bullpen. This appears to be a situation where they've just had no other option but to turn it over to Carrillo again. Swing and a miss. As we talked about, the Beacons would love to extend this lead as far out as possible, because no lead feels safe against the UMass Dartmouth lineup. We've seen that proven out. This is a ground ball base hit into left. They're going to send Kydes around. Throw back in is cut off, and it's 8-4. So Ryan Leung gets into the act. His first RBI of the season. And now you're still in a first and second situation with one out. And Ben Irvine, the batter. The margin is 4 here. First pitch to Irvine is topped foul down the left field side. I'm not saying this is going to happen, but there is a mercy rule in effect in the Little East where if a team has a lead of 10 runs or more after 5, then the game is over. So the lead is at 4. You got a ways to go, but if this is a really, really big inning for UMass Boston, they could end things right here. Lead at 4 right now. 0-1. And they go for the double steal, and both guys make it. Blake and Leung steal second and third. And now the infield is going to have to be brought in for UMass Dartmouth. Irvine can drive in another run by making an out. And he takes ball 2. That one just missed. Two 2-1. Popped him up. On the infield fly in effect, and the catch is made by Ramirez for the second out. So 2 away, and now back up top for Duco. UMass Boston still needing 6 more defensive outs to win this game. And Carrillo trying to keep his guys with a semblance of hope. Big swing by Duco. Left-hander is still up in the UMass Boston bullpen. See if it's him or if Candelario Romero returns in the 8th. 1-1. This all started with a leadoff walk by Zerilli against Streech. Then the 2-run homer by Tirone made it 6-4. Back-to-back RBI singles by Blake and Leung have extended the lead, and this one stays fair down the right field line into the corner. 2 more runs will score, and heading into third base is Duco. It's a 2-run triple, and it's 10-4. So they have batted around here in the 7th inning. And now in a 10-4 game, I think you can start to think about possibly ending this one early. Still got to score 4 more, but one of them is right there at third base. Zerilli takes one off the back. That one got away. And Zerilli now has been on all 5 times in this game. A double, 2 walks, a single, and he's been hit by a pitch. So this is obviously a unique situation, but now, technically, you could say that the winning run is on deck with Corliss. UMass Boston gets this to a 10-run lead, then it's game over. Here's Tirone, who hit the 2-run homer his last time up. Blake is at third, Leung at second. Strike 1. One and one. Tirone knew he didn't want that. That home run that he hit off of Streech was absolutely smoked. And it was a no-doubter off the bat. 1-1. Strike 2 on the outside corner. It has been a 6-run 7th inning to this point for the Beacons. And now trying to take off and take second base, and he will. How about that? Zerilli takes second blind. And now Prince is going to come out. He thought they had him. It was a very close play as Carrillo whipped his head around as soon as he figured out he was taken off. Nobody covered the bag initially, but Ramirez got over there and applied the tag. It was very close, but they rule him safe. So now a base hit could get us within 2 runs of the game being over. Here's a 1-2 and a pop-up. Shallow left, Ramirez going out there. He's called off by Heatherman to retire the side. But what a response by UMass Boston. A 6-run bottom of the 7th. They take a 10-4 lead to the 8th inning of Game 2.
I did receive a non-athletic scholarship upon entering school.
I got the presidential scholarship, which was huge for me.
I think there's more opportunities for academic scholarships in Division III.
I did receive academic scholarships. Just being involved on campus, being a leader, all those things combined kind of get me recognized. It's a great experience for me.
Back now for the 8th inning. And it is Candelario Romero who is pitching in a totally different world than he was last inning. Last inning, he was up by 2, then surrendered that lead. UMass Dartmouth came back to tie it. And now he's gone from that spot to trying to close out the ball game up by 6. Got some breathing room now, and here's Ramirez who chops one foul. So the Beacons batted around in that 7th inning. 11 men came to the plate. And 6 runs coming across. That one skips in there. One pitch is chopped to the left side, right at Aidan Blake, and he got him. 1 away. That'll send Vasquez back up there. 1 for 3 with a double. After he was perfect in the first game, 3 for 3 with a walk. He's had a good day here. But UMass Boston has taken this one by the horns. There's that breaking ball again for a strike. A 1. So if the Beacons win this one, they'll be in the same spot in the standings that they were when they entered play today. That would be in the number 5 position in the Little East at 4-4, or 3-3, excuse me, actually. And UMass Dartmouth would be right behind him in the 6th spot. This one is back up the middle. Lee Young ranging to his right. He booted it, and Vasquez will reach. If he comes up cleanly, it would have been a long throw, but he probably has him. So it'll be an E4. That'll send in Perron. And this one rocketed back to the screen. I think they're ruling base hit on that. I've not seen another error added on to the scoreboard. I would have said error, but they might go with a base hit. This one's in for a strike. Here's the 0-2. And he just missed the top of the zone. Candelario Romero looking for a double play to get out of the inning. This one is ripped but foul. Here's the 1-2. That's fouled back. Well, if Brendan Eigebrod can make it through this second game with just Dylan Ryan and Candelario Romero, that's a massive success. This one slow roller over by the UMB dugout foul. Beacons now are out hitting Corsairs 8-7. One-two pitch is ripped, base hit into left. That was a hanging breaking ball. And Perron with a base hit, and fortunate Candelario Romero is that that's all it was. So back-to-back singles, and that looks like it's going to be it. Eigebrod comes out, and this will be the day for Candelario Romero. Well, he gave him some needed innings in this one, and his offense picked them up after he surrendered the lead in the 7th. So he'll come out. New pitcher coming in for the Beacons. Quick timeout. We'll be back.
I did receive a non-athletic scholarship upon entering school.
I got the presidential scholarship, which was huge for me.
I think there's more opportunities for academic scholarships in Division III.
I did receive academic scholarships. Just being involved on campus, being a leader, all those things combined kind of get me recognized. It's a great experience for me.
All right, here is the new UMass Boston pitcher. It's the left-hander Thomas Kearse, who we thought we might see today, and we do. Sophomore, 5'11", 150 out of Cohasset. So he comes in for his second appearance of the season. He's got one scoreless inning on the ledger to this point. He's given up one hit. That's it. He comes in first and second, one out. And he's going to face Mitch Baker here. Beacons try to get this one to the finish line in Game 2 with a win. Up 10-4. After losing the second game, or the first game, 7-5. And now the offense has rallied here late in Game 2. Kearse facing Baker, with Vasquez at second, Perron at first. This one grounded left side. That's going to be through for a base hit. They're going to send Vasquez. Throw is going to be cut, and it's 10-5. Well, it would have been a tailor-made double play ball if it was hit right at somebody. But instead, Zerilli had to range to his right and couldn't get to it. And Baker drives in his third run of the day. He's had a homer, an RBI double, and an RBI single. So he's at first. Perron now the runner at second. And here's Heatherman. Actually, no, it's going to be another pinch hitter here. This is Zach Souza, the right-hander coming in to face the lefty Kearse. But forget about that. Souza, 32 at-bats. He's hitting 188. No home runs, has not driven in any. Assume he'll stay in to play left. Dartmouth using every option possible to try to get back in this game. Here's a little bleeder out into right center. It is going to be caught by Duco for the second out. Boy, off the bat, looked like that one might drop in. But it hung up just long enough. So Souza is retired. And now we're going to have yet another pinch hitter. This is Kyle Dennis coming to the plate. So he hits out of the DH spot. Dennis, 6 at-bats, has 2 hits, 1 run batted in. And he swings and doesn't get a fastball. So the bench emptying out for UMass Dartmouth here. Dennis, 6 feet 230 from Warwick, Rhode Island, the junior. 0-2. 10-5. Still plenty of cushion here for the Beacons. But one swing of the bat here could change that. Just can never put this team away. This one is off the end of the bat, out into the gap in right center. Going to be a long run back there for Duco. And he makes the play. Reaching up over his head. Sensational catch by Duco. Otherwise, that was going to be big trouble. Very likely a 2-run double, if not more. Duco makes the running catch. We go to the 9th with the Beacons up 10-5.
I'm the first undergraduate alumnus to lead this university. I'm very proud of that. I was literally able to transform my life because of the University of Massachusetts, and I want that for every single student that walks through the door.
We come back for the bottom of the 8th before we get to the 9th. And here is another new pitcher for UMass Dartmouth. This is the right-hander Adam Horowitz, who is into the game. 2 scoreless innings for him in now his 3rd appearance. He's walked 1 and struck out 2. The 5'11" sophomore out of Seekonk, Massachusetts. And he's going to face Corliss, Q, and Kydes here. Zach Souza, who pinch hit for Heatherman has been replaced out there in left field as well. It's Nick Kydes who's out there now. So Nick Kydes, the new left fielder for UMass Dartmouth. Meanwhile, first pitch to Corliss misses for ball one. This one ripped but foul down the third base side. Both teams have been lighting up the scoreboard here over the last couple of innings. 1-1. Drops in there for strike two. In the ninth, it's going to be 8-9-1 Salona, Lions, and DeSarcina, who are due. 2-2 on Corliss. 0 for 4 in this game. Two in the air, foul off to the right. Again, UMass Boston after this will head to Southern Maine on Tuesday afternoon, and then Western Connecticut on Wednesday. So those are two huge games. As here's a ground ball, base hit into left. So Corliss is aboard to start the eighth, and we're going to have another switch. Igabrot coming out for this. And the pinch runner at first base is going to be Luke Levitt. So we'll see if Levitt stays in the game defensively, but for the moment he runs for Corliss, and they'll immediately check on him. Thomas Q now the batter. A double his last time up, and they're going to call a balk here. They call a balk. And down to second base is the runner Levitt. So that gets another man up into scoring position. Swing and a miss. One. In the air. Shallow center. It's actually not going to make it that far. Ramirez, the shortstop, calls for it. One away. One down for Kydes, who has been on 3 times today and hit a sac fly. He's reached on an error, been hit by a pitch, and he's walked. And he's scored all 3 times he's been on. One 0 pitch, misses in. Three and 0 now. With Aidan Blake waiting next. Walked him. So Kydes has earned another free pass. First and second now. And here's Blake. A homer and a single in this one. His 2-run homer back in the second gave the Beacons the initial lead, or their initial lead of this game, I should say. They were behind 1-0. Here's the 1-0. 1 ball, 1 strike. Horowitz just trying to get his team to the 9th inning. Fouled off to the right. Makes it 1-2. And the home plate umpire, Piantadosi, has a word there with Horowitz, probably telling him why he called him for the balk earlier. Here's the 1-2 pitch. And he jammed him right side of the infield, and the lunging catch made by the first baseman Baker, 2 down. So 2 men out, and Ryan Leung is the last hope here in the bottom of the 8th. Breaking ball in there, strike 1 on the inside corner. This one runs in and hits him on the back shoulder. So that's going to load him up with 2 men down here for Irvine. And now you're back into interesting territory again, because the Beacons are 5 runs away from ending this one here in the 8th inning. You have the bases loaded. So a base hit here, and all of a sudden you bring up the possibility of maybe a walk-off. Here's the 1-0. 1 ball, 1 strike. Duco, by the way, is the on-deck hitter. 1-1. That is a ground ball left side. Ramirez did well to get to it, but that's all he's going to be able to do. And now the throw gets away. He still made the throw to first, and 2 runs will come in. Down to second base is Irvine, and it's 12-5. Ramirez did well just to get to that ball, but there really was no need to throw it. Only bad things can come from that. And the error allows Irvine to get up to second base. So he doesn't get any RBIs on that. And going to have another runner here. It's going to be number 23 for UMass Boston, who has yet to see any action here, who comes in to run, and that is Danny Collazo, the junior from Stamford. So Collazo runs for Irvine. And we'll see if he stays in center field if it gets there, because Duco with a long ball here. Meanwhile, they were going to try a double steal here, I think. Somebody missed a sign. Now you're in a pickle. and they're not going to be able to get the run at third, and everybody's going to be safe. Well, I'm telling you, I have no idea what happened there. That is ridiculous. Somebody clearly missed a sign. Collazo had just come into the game to run at second base. They would have had to try a steal of home there, but when Collazo took off, Leung didn't move at all. And then they didn't have anybody covering third base, and both guys made it back. I'm telling you, we've had some strange plays in this game today, but I think that's the weirdest. That's inside 2-0. I mean, you just never see that. Clearly, somewhere, a sign was missed. But then the Corsairs can't take advantage of it and get an out. 2-1. So again, if Duco hits one out here, then we wouldn't even have to go to the ninth inning. Because it would be a 10-run lead after 5. That would be it. This is a ground ball right side. Diving play, DiSarcina. And the pick at first, they got him. Well, that's a great effort by DiSarcina and by Baker there at first base. Otherwise, we would have been really close to having this one end early. 12-5 as we go to the ninth inning here in Game 2.
College has given me the flexibility to pursue my passions and my interests, and I've recreated my identity for myself aside from just being an athlete.
My greatest personal discovery has been that I am capable of doing things that I didn't know I was capable of doing.
To be able to study what I wanted to and continue to play the sport I love, all of those things came together very nicely in one package in Division III.
Okay, on we go to the ninth inning. 12-5, UMass Boston. They add a couple more runs. In the last of the eighth, Thomas Kearse is back out there to face Salona. Danny Collazo, by the way, stays in the game out in center after he ran for Irvine, and that's a strike. 3 outs away from making this one history. One fouled off to the right. Seen a little bit of everything over these 2 games here today. Some inexplicable things out there on the bases. I don't think we're going to top what we saw in the last half inning there. There's a swing and a miss, and the tag applied at the plate, 1 down. And we're going to have another substitution. Why not? This is Andrew Posse, who's coming up to hit for Lions. And he takes the first pitch outside, ball 1. Saw Posse get into the first game, which the Corsairs held on to win 7-5. 2-0. Beacon's on the verge of a split in this doubleheader. This game just about 3 hours on the dot right now. 3-0. First game got started at noon. It has been a long day of baseball here. 3-0. DiSarcina waiting next. Pierce trying to end this game without any more damage. Full count. Two runs in the second, one in the third, one in the sixth, 6 in the seventh, and 2 in the eighth for the Beacons. 3-2 is a jam shot foul. The 3-2 pitch. And he walked him. One on, one out. Back up top to DiSarcina, and we'll see if he can do something about what for him has been an 0 for 9 day. Between both games of the doubleheader, he is 0 for 9. He's a guy who, coming into the day, was hitting .286. And he swings and puts a drive on one into deep right. Back goes Duco at the wall. It is off the top of the wall. Heading into third and now being sent around his posse. Throw's going to be cut. And you just had a sense you weren't going to hold him down all day long. It's an RBI triple for DiSarcina. And now it's 12-6. So DiSarcina with his 7th RBI of the season. On the triple, and now Ramirez. Strike one. Both sides now with 10 hits. As the offense has heated up late here in game 2. 1-1. There is some action now starting down in the UMass Boston bullpen in case. This one's hit well. In the air to left center. I think he got under it, though. And the catch will be made by Q. Here comes the run in from third, and that'll make it 12-7. On the sac fly, DiSarcina comes in to score. So a sac fly for Ramirez, but now the base is empty with 2 out. And Jose Vasquez could be the last man up there today. 2 for 4 in this one, a double and a single as last time. And he swings and grounds it right back up the middle for a base hit. But what a day Vasquez has had. That's now 3 hits in the second game after he had 3 in the first. Now DJ Perron. It's a doubleheader that just will not come to an end. Ball one inside. Two and 0. Baker's on deck. You really don't want to get to him because he has 3 RBIs in this one. And he's a triple away from the cycle. 3-0. last out of the ball game, proving to be the most difficult to get. 4-pitch walk. Perron's aboard. And now, here comes Baker. As Kydes goes out to talk. After the game, we'll have highlights. Look ahead to what's coming up for the Beacons as they move into next week. And the lights now starting to turn on here at Monin Park. As the Beacons are trying to turn the lights out on UMass Dartmouth here, but that has not been easy. Ball one downstairs to Mitch Baker, who again is a triple away from the cycle. 1-1. You got to figure if Baker gets on, there's probably a look down toward the bullpen for Aigebrod. Baker lines a base hit into left. They're going to hold the runner at third, and the bases are loaded with 2 out. And here comes Aigebrod. So Kierce just could not get the final out here in the 9th inning. You cannot put this UMass Dartmouth team away. Bases loaded, 2 out. And Nick Cote is going to be the batter. New pitcher coming in with 1 out to get. And we'll tell you about him when we come back.
Being a part of the different activities and organizations that I've been a part of, I'm actually able to see myself where I'm like, hey, I actually can make a change. I'm one person that can make a difference.
Division III has helped me to develop teamwork skills, critical thinking skills, time management skills.
It's not just about basketball, or it's not just about school. It's about developing yourself as a person altogether.
There's your new pitcher, Ethan Herrera. Inning and a third on the season for him. This is his 3rd appearance. Has given up 2 runs, both unearned, on 2 hits. He's walking into a mess. UMass Dartmouth has managed somehow to bring the tying run on deck. They have the bases loaded with 2 down here. Vasquez at third, Perron at second, Baker at first, and it's going to be Nick Cote taking his first at bat of the day in just his 9th of the season. And so far, he is 0 for his first 8. So Herrera being called on to get the final out of the ball game, which Thomas Kierce was not able to do. UMass Dartmouth, such a prolific lineup, they just have not been able to give much comfort to UMass Boston all day today. Meanwhile, Cote's not going to hit. Instead, they're going to bring up Nate Stewart here, who got an at-bat in a pinch-hitting spot in Game 1. Never got to swing the bat. We'll see about right here. Bases loaded, 2 down, 1 more out to get. Ball 1 to Stewart. One for 10. so far on the season. But got a lot of raw power, 2-0. Now, you walk them here, and you bring the tying run to the plate. Got to find a way out of this right now. 2-1. You got to force Stewart to swing the bat. Herrera with the 2-1 pitch. 3-1. Kyle Dennis is waiting on deck. He would be the tying run if he comes up. The 3-1 pitch. That's a strike right there on the outside corner. Close. But he got the call. And now UMass Dartmouth down to their last strike. Is this it right here? Herrera trying to end it. And a liner right at Zerilli at short. And that ends the ball game. Boy, that thing was hit right on the button, but right at Gianni Zerilli. And the ball game, mercifully, is over. So UMass Boston does get the split of this doubleheader. 12-7 the final in Game 2. Let's take a look at the highlights. So that's the story here in Game 2, 12-7. UMass Boston hangs on to win it. They get back to 500 on the year. They split the doubleheader. They end the day at 3-3. 3-3 in Little East play, and UMass Dartmouth is now 7-10 overall, 5-6 in conference play. That is going to just about do